Nobody Loses All the Time by Cummings, 1894 to 1962. I had an uncle named Sol who was a born failure, and nearly everybody said he should have gone into vaudeville perhaps, because my Uncle Sol could sing McCann He Was a Diver on Xmas Eve like hell itself, which may or may not account for the fact that my Uncle Sol indulged in that possibly most excusable of all, to use a highfalutin phrase, luxuries, that is, or to wit, farming, and be it needlessly added, my Uncle Sol's farm failed because the chickens ate all the vegetables. So my Uncle Sol had a chicken farm, till the skunks ate the chickens, when my Uncle Sol had a skunk farm. But the skunks caught cold and died, so my Uncle Sol imitated the skunks in a subtle manner, or by drowning himself in the water tank. But somebody who'd given my Uncle Sol a Victor Victrola and records while he lived, presented to him upon the auspicious occasion of his decease a scrumptious, not to mention splendiferous funeral, with tall boys in black gloves and flowers and everything. And I remember we all cried like the Missouri when my Uncle Sol's coffin lurched because somebody pressed a button, and down went my Uncle Sol and started a worm farm. Okay, this is a poem by Cummings. Let's see, this is it's completely open rhyme. I think Cummings is renowned for his modernist ideas, expressing transcendental feelings. Let's see, he was born in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and he went to Harvard University. He was an ambulance driver during the First World War. He wrote poems, he painted, he wrote essays, he was a playwright as well. So what's this about? Well, this is about Uncle Sol, and the fact that this is the story of Uncle Sol's life. But Uncle Sol is a loser. Uncle Sol gets everything wrong. Uncle Sol is completely unable to be successful. And finally, the irony is that when he dies, he's given a fantastic funeral, and then he's finally become successful at farming because he becomes food for worms. His body is buried and he becomes a successful worm farmer. So there's sort of an irony there in it. And this is a man who, he doesn't win his struggles against life, but his dignity comes from just trying to live, trying to be successful, trying to do things, yeah. And then finally, he's successful, being food for worms. So I had an uncle named Sol who was a born failure. He was a failure. And everybody said he should have gone into vaudeville, he should have gone into the theatre. Perhaps because he could sing McCann He Was a Diver, this is a song, on Christmas Eve, like hell itself. So he could sing this song really, 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 really well. And that's why people say he should have gone into acting, he should have gone into the stage, he should have gone into stage shows. And then this perhaps was the reason why he became a farmer. Yeah, he indulged in the most inexcusable of all luxuries, farming. Yeah, so he became a farmer, And and unfortunately, so he started with a farm, but it was a failure because the chickens ate all of the vegetables he grew. So Sol, he changed it into a chicken farm. But unfortunately, the chicken farm failed as well because the skunks killed and ate the chickens. So the chicken farm was a failure. And then he decided, okay, I'm going to make this into a skunk farm. But the skunks died as well, and that was a failure. So somehow, Uncle Sol drowned himself in the water tank, and again another failure. But, and this is for me the Volta, this is where it changes. But somebody who'd given my Uncle Sol a Victor, Victrola and records while he lived, so somebody who knew my uncle and somebody who liked him, who'd given him a record player and some records when he was alive, presented him with a beautiful funeral. So a friend of his, somebody who liked him, presented him with a fantastic funeral with tall people in black gloves and flowers and all of the things that were necessary for a good funeral. And we cried like the River Missouri when my uncle's coffin went down into the ground. But that was actually good for Uncle Sol because he went down in the ground. And finally he started a successful farm, a worm farm, where his body became food for the worms. So this is Sol. Sol is trying, and he tries all sorts of things. Finally he is successful in growing worms. Enough. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you soon. Bye for now. Nobody Loses All the Time by E. Cummings.